Good afternoon. My name is Dave Swinford. These are the artillery pieces that we have for the 2nd Company Georgia Artillery and now lately of the 8th Pennsylvania. The first gun we're going to take a look at is a 3-pound field piece. This is a light iron 3-pound tube on a Congreve style carriage. The Congreve carriage has side boxes on either side of the gun, one with canister round, the other with solid shot. Powder was also provided in bag form on each cartridge box. In the back, there's a trail box. The trail box contained other instruments for firing the weapon, such as a level, ropes, port fire, and other pieces of equipment that might be needed on the journey. This weapon is a 3-pound gun. The actual tube weighs about 350, and the whole assembly weighs about 900. The term 3-pounder refers to the size of the shot. This is a 3-pound shot, which fired out of this gun with 3.5 degrees of elevation, provided a distance of about 990 yards, nearly 1,000 yards of capable distance. Now, in a time period when a musket was probably only effective to 100 yards or less, that enabled you to engage your enemy at quite a distance. When the enemy got within 250 yards or 300 yards, you would switch over to something called canister, which is basically a can full of musket balls. In this case, there's about 50 62 caliber musket balls in there. That would provide for a much more effective anti-personnel weapon at close ranges. It would essentially turn the weapon into a giant shotgun. The gun is composed of different parts, so the tube is composed of different parts. You have the muzzle swell, the actual muzzle, the muzzle ring. This section here, this tapered section, is referred to as the chase. You have a ring and ogee, which are reinforcements. This is a reinforcement number 1, reinforcement number 2, another ring and ogee. You have the back end is called the breech. The very back is the cascable, and on the very back, where the rope ring is called the button. This whole flat section here is called the vent field. And of course, the vent field contains the vent, which is a hole that leads all the way down into the firing chamber of the gun. To fire this gun, ideally required a 6-man crew and 6 more men as matroses, or people manning the drag ropes. The 6 men on the gun would have 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, a 5th on the box, the ammunition box to the rear of the gun, and a 6th man to oversee them all, probably a gun sergeant or a corporal. To fire the gun, the first thing you do is cover the vent. The man on that side, the vent, would cover the vent. He'd advance the worm, which looks like a big corkscrew, goes down the barrel, looks for any debris, pieces of the last cartridge, pulls it out. Advance the worm, the man dumps the worm in the water, gets it a little bit wet, spins it out, and runs it down to cool the piece and to put out any remaining sparks from the last cartridge. Then you advance the cartridge, run the cartridge down as a whole. That means the powder in the bag, the projectile, whether it happens to be solid shot or canister, advance it and then it's rammed down with the gunner on the other side, rams it to the end. Then a command of prick and prime. Prick the cartridge open with your gimlet, which is non-ferrous metal, so you're not causing a spark, and you insert a fuse or pour powder into the top until it's covered up and is ready to roll. At that point, the commander is telling them to make ready, and the linstock man advances with the linstock lit. At the command, give fire, he puts it down on top of either the fuse, which is a quill, or the powder, and it causes it to go off. It explodes in the chamber and sends the projectile downrange, hopefully towards your enemy. This particular one has been around since 2004. We've had it in 7 states, and I think the last time I counted, 24 separate events. So it's been around a while.